Hi guys, so I have been encouraging my followers to get in touch with me with any topic that they'd like to see me discuss in my content. And two topics that have been coming up fairly regularly are those of self care and meditation. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about both of those now. So, first up, I'm not a meditation guru. In fact, I'm more of a novice. My meditation practice is fairly basic when it comes to other people's standards. That being said, I find it extremely beneficial in giving me a sense of having implemented something beneficial into my day. And the way in which I do this is I make it very much a discipline. I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up, because otherwise I find that the day tends to get away on me. So at least if I have done it first thing, if it's a bonus if I get to do it again later on through the day, or I try to implement it again before going to bed, this time for a shorter period of time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But that 10 minutes every morning is a given. It gets done. And as I said, the more you make something a discipline, the less likely you are to just push it off or procrastinate it or let it drop for one day, which turns into 2 days, which turns into 4 days. That being said, we tend to have a very heavy headed approach to meditation. I heard a great analogy the other day on a podcast, and they were basically saying that a lot of people approach meditation like pushing a boulder up a hill, whereas it's meant to be more like a leaf falling down from a tree. It'll get to the ground eventually, no matter what way the wind blows it. And this is the way we should be thinking about meditation. Now, I try a few different types depending on what I feel like on the day. Sometimes I use a mantra. Sometimes I just use a visual meditation where I visualize, I suppose, healing moving throughout my body. And other times I just focus on observing the thoughts, and sometimes it's a combination of all three. I mean, there are no hard and fast rules, well, at least not in my in my practice, as to how it should go. It's more about giving yourself that little bit of practice at observing your thoughts and quietening the mind a little bit. You're not meant to stop your thoughts. I mean, it's just being able to take a step back from them, to be a little bit more conscious of them. And bear in mind as well, your meditation practice is a tool that you're meant to implement throughout the day. So basically, the practice that you put in place in the morning is something you should carry with you. So that conscientiousness, that ability to be objective, to sit back and observe your thoughts, is something that you should be carrying with you throughout your day. Or at least that's how I feel about it, and that's the way I try to implement it. Likewise, self-care. I mean, every single decision we make throughout the day is either going to serve us or is going to work against us, And part of self-care is making the better decision at all times, the decision that serves you and serves others the most. And I think we, particularly with social media, have this concept of self-care that it needs to be something glamorous or something that we can post about. And particularly with the rise in the fitness industry, there's a lot of association with having a certain body type, or it being very much about extrinsic or external validation, as opposed to being just something really kind that you do for yourself and that you do for others. I mean, self-care can be as basic as just taking a few minutes to breathe. It can be just talking to a friend when you're feeling completely overwhelmed. In fact, one of the most beneficial practices of self-care that I utilize is getting out of my own head by doing something for another person, even if it's the last thing that you feel like doing. If you're experiencing anxiety, if you're experiencing any struggle, rather than kind of rumbling with it in your own mind, getting outside of yourself and offering your help or making a cup of tea for somebody else can be so beneficial to you, which I know sounds entirely selfish, but it makes the other person feel pretty nice as well, So again, it's about challenging our concepts of what self-care has to entail. It's not just something we do for an hour a day. It's every decision we make. It's everything we put into our body. It's everything we do with our body. And it's everything we do with other people. It's about regulating the emotions. It's about, challenging some of your distorted thoughts. And it's about behaving in a way that is kind to yourself and kind to others. So that's just an idea of what my concept of meditation and self-care is. Now, that being said, I'm open to any other opinions. I'm not saying that this is the way it should be. It's just the way it is for me. If you'd like to work with me on implementing self-care, or if you're struggling with any aspect of your life, be sure to get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie. You'll also catch me on my Instagram or on my Facebook. Both of those pages are called Fundamentals. I do a regular post on YouTube. My channel is Fiona Feely. Go check it out. Lots of content there on mental health and how to look after yourself to ensure that your life is as fulfilling and purposeful as possible. The stuff there on relationships, anxiety, depression. Go check it out. And as always, if there's any specific content you want me to put up there, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday.